welcome to your upper body strength workout. For today's workout, you'll need a small weight, either 1, 2, or 3 pounds. If you don't have a weight, you can also use a book. And you'll also need your long band, either your long looped band or a smaller resistance band that you can anchor to an anchor point. If you have a foam roller, you can use a foam roller as well, but if you don't, no worries, we can work without it. All right, so we're gonna start with one of your light weights lying on your side. We're gonna come down to a side lying position. You can cradle your head with your arm, come into 90 degrees here. We're gonna engage the deep core, so your lower abs are pulling away from the floor. You're finding that APT breath here in the core. And with that weight, you're gonna bring that weight right over your shoulder, right? So we're just gonna let that weight sink and settle into the shoulder. And I want you to feel what happens here in the shoulder blade, right? So as we put this weight over the arm, it helps to press the upper arm really securely into that shoulder joint. Make sure it's right over your shoulder and not leaning back or not too far forward, right? So right over the top. So it should feel like it's kind of hanging out there a little bit. Now from here, keep your arm really still. We're going to internally rotate and then rotate out. So you're just rolling that weight front to back, rolling it in space. And this is just to help that rotator cuff start to turn on as we start to strengthen and get into the shoulder socket, right? If you have shoulder issues on either side, as you're doing this, see what comes up for you. See what this brings up, right? If you feel any pain or clicking or numbness or tingling, you can limit the range of motion and then this one bring to the live session, right? So we can troubleshoot it to make sure you're getting in the right position. All right, so we want to do like a minute or 2 minutes here. The longer you do it, the more that shoulder joint is going to benefit from this movement of stabilizing with rotation. All right, good. Now we're going to drop that arm, come down, rest for a moment. Oh, gets tired after a while, right? Oh, feel that nice warmth coming down your arm. Now we're going to take it back up to that same position, right? Let the weight press into your shoulder. Now we're going to keep the core engaged, take that arm straight forward in front of you, and then bring it all the way back up overhead. See if you can feel that shoulder blade gliding forward as you come down and pulling back as you come up. If this weight feels like too much and you just want to try it without the weight, you can feel free to do that. So what you should feel is that the shoulder blade is hugging against the rib cage, coming forward, and then it's drawing down your back as you lift up. Good. So if you notice that you're kind of reaching forward or rolling forward, then that's another thing you can bring to the live session, right? Hello, kitty. All right. So once you get really tired, if you want to just come down without the weight, that is great too. All right, third set here. We're going to grab onto that weight if you put it down before. All right, so this one we're going to go overhead. So I want you to anchor that shoulder down, lift your deep core, take that weight overhead just a little bit, and then bring it back to the center. Good. See if you can feel your mid back starting to fire up. Good. So only go as far as you can control it with your mid back. So you should be feeling it right back here. Whoops. Right underneath your shoulder blade. So if that feels like too much weight, you can put your weight down on the floor and do it without weight, just so you can get an idea of how it should feel and where the position is, where you're moving from, right? So in that case, if you don't have a weight, you can take the arm overhead, right? Palms faces forward, reach the arm up overhead, right? See if you can feel the activity coming from your mid back all the way over and then all the way back up overhead. Try it a few times without the weight, right? Reaching out and then all the way back up. So what we're not looking for is reaching up overhead and squeezing in the trap right here, right? Want to keep it anchored, and you can see the difference in that position, right? If I'm reaching too far, my rib cage is opening, my shoulder blade is coming off my back, and it's all in my neck, right? If you anchor down, you get more mid-back support. This is going to pay off in huge dividends when we start doing more upper back work, and especially as you're carrying your kids, it's super important that your shoulder blades can glide correctly on your back. Good. All right. Now, if this is getting easy, you want to try that weight again. I have a 2-pound weight, a 1-pound weight, or even a book is really good for this, right? So only go as far as you can control it. As soon as you start to lift that shoulder, you know you've gone too far, and then lift it back up. Good. Exhale as you come out, keeping that core engaged. Inhale, bring it back up. Good. As soon as you start feeling it in that shoulder, you can either drop the weight or limit the range of motion. Right, good. Play around with that range of motion. Good. Last one here. Awesome. and then come all the way back up. Good. All right, we're gonna go over to the other side. And again, notice the difference between left and right. If you have one shoulder that tends to be weaker, that tends to give you some trouble, you can just kind of, check in with how it's feeling on each side. So come over to the other side. We're going to engage the deep core. Knees are at 90 degrees. All right, we're going to take that dumbbell straight overhead, right? So not too far forward. You don't feel like you're holding it up, not too far back here, just right over the top. So it should feel pretty effortless and like a good weight that's pulling that humerus back into the shoulder socket. We're going to internally and externally rotate here and try not to, move around a lot with that arm, just trying to keep it right over the shoulder and just rotate, right? Now, as this starts to get easier on both sides, you can start to use a heavier weight, right? A heavier weight is going to give more weight and pressure into that shoulder, and this rotation is going to be more challenged, right? Good. All right. So keep going here. Keep rotating as much as you can, front and back. Awesome. Good. And then take that weight down to the floor. We're going to set up the fly. So take the arm right back where you had it without the weight. Anchor the shoulder blade down the back and then reach forward. Try to keep that core engaged. Shoulder blade reaches forward and then pull it all the way back. Good. Reach forward and then all the way back. So it should feel like your shoulder is gliding forward as you're reaching forward and then opening back up as you exhale. Good. So just get this range of motion going. Again, you're engaged in your core, right? You're not moving with your upper body. Your upper body is staying really still. It's just your shoulder that is moving. Good. Now we can add that weight to it. Reach up, drop it down, right? This is going to make it harder for sure. Exhale, lift it up. Good. Keep that core engaged. Move as slowly as you need to, right? Sometimes we lose the benefit of the movement coming down to the floor. We're too much in a hurry to get to the lift, and we miss out on that downward movement. And that's where the magic happens. Good. Slow down that movement. Good. Nice. Keep the core engaged. Awesome. Let's do 3 more here. This is another one. All of these, you can set a timer for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and do as many as you can, right? If you can't make it to 1 minute, you can drop the weight. Good. Awesome. All right, bring that weight back to your chest. We're going to take the overhead pull. So reach the arm towards the ceiling. You're going to take the arm all the way overhead and then back down. Good. Now reach through the shoulder blade, right? Not through the neck, right? We don't want to open out through the back. Do you guys see how much flexibility there is in my core? So you're going to engage your deep core. Just move through the arm, right? Reach through the pinky. Just like we did with the band over the shoulder, it's the same movement. And we're not using the trap to lift. Good. Support with your side waist back here, right? Good. All right, now let's add the weight to it. So take it right back over your shoulder. We're going to go a couple inches overhead, just check in, make sure you can really contain that movement. As soon as you start to go here, it's too much, right? Come back. Good. And go slowly here. Keep connected in the deep core as you are reaching overhead. Awesome. Good. All the way back up. Fantastic. Good. Exhale as you go over. Inhale as you come back up. Exhale out. Good. Inhale back up. Nice. Good. Palm is facing the wall in front of you, right? Same direction as your face. Good. Last 2 here. Stay connected, right? This downward motion is where the magic happens. Good. And last one. Awesome. Good. And then come all the way back to the center. Awesome. Drop the weight off to the side. You're going to come down onto your chest. So come face down on the floor. Take your arms back by your hips, palms facing the floor. Now we're going to roll the shoulder blades towards one another. Just stay here for a moment. See if you can feel your shoulder blades like they were going to give a hug to your spine. And then drop it all the way back down. Exhale, lift, shoulder blades together. Inhale, drop it back down. Good. So just find this range of motion. Exhale, lift. Inhale, drop it back down. Good. This time, exhale, lift. Hold that lift. Reach your arms off the floor and lift your head just 1/2 inch off the floor. So the key here, usually when we lift our head off the floor, we want to arch through our neck. Don't do that, right? Keep your chin tucked towards your chest because the movement is happening from your upper back, not from your neck, right? Even think about making a double chin. Good. Keep your shoulder blades moving down your back. Lift your arms from your mid back. Just stay here. Good. And then we're going to release all the way to the floor, forehead to the floor, hands and arms to the floor. Inhale, exhale, come right back up to that position. Shoulder blades pull back, arms lift, head is just a little bit off the floor. Your glutes will fire a little bit. If you're feeling this in your lower back, press your pubic bone into the floor. Good. Inhale, drop all the way back down. Inhale. Fully release, breathe in, exhale, lift. Shoulder blades together. Good. Inhale, drop it down, breathe into your mid back. Exhale, initiate it with your shoulder blades. Lift the arms off the floor. Right, so you're drawing those shoulder blades together. Inhale down. And exhale, lift. Good. Nice. Inhale down. Fully release. Take the full inhale. Exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades up and lift back. Good. Hold here. Think of lifting as much as you're reaching back. Right? So if you feel like your shoulders are rolling forward, try to roll them back in space with the bottom tips of your shoulder blades together. This is where all that mobility work that we did before in the mobility workout is going to come into play, right? Because you've got more access to your mid back. Good. Stay here. Stay connected with it. 2 more breaths here. Right between those shoulder blades. And then lower all the way down to the floor. Good. Turn your head to one side. Awesome. Shake your hips out. Big breaths into your back. Let go of any tightness there. Awesome. Good. And then bring your forehead down to the floor. Take those arms out into a T. Rest here. Now keep your forehead on the floor and draw those shoulder blades together. Lift the hands off the floor so your thumbs are facing the ceiling. Just stay here for a moment. Good. Notice how this is different than the pose we did before, right? Drop your pinkies back down to the floor. Exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good. If you feel this in your neck, bend your elbows a little more, bring them a little lower than shoulder height, right? So you're going to bring them back towards A position a little bit. Good. Inhale down and exhale, lift. You're keeping your forehead on the floor. We're really isolating those mid back, upper back muscles. Good. Nice. Let's do 4 more here. Exhale, lift. Yeah. Inhale down. And 2. Good. And 3. And 1 more. Lift and hold. Good. Reach through the pinkies. Lift your head 1/2 inch off the floor. Right. Squeeze between the shoulder blades. Again, not craning your neck forward, but trying to create a double chin here, right? So you can really feel that strength being created behind the wings of your shoulder blades. Good. Maybe bend your elbows a little bit more. Good. 2 more breaths here. Oh, work into it. Open through those shoulders. Good. And then lower all the way down to the floor. Awesome. Woo, breathe into your back. Good. Shake here. Let go of any tension in your back or your neck. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to press back to all 4s. Good. Take a cat and cow here. Inhale, open. Exhale, round all the way back. Oh, yeah. Good. Just get some movement in there, right? We're creating a lot of good strength here. Good. All right. And we're going to come back to a child's pose. So bring your heels back. If this is hard for you to sit your heels all the way back, you could put a pad underneath your, between your heels and your hips, right? We're going to come down into a child's pose with our hands forward, with our palms facing each other, right? So you're elongating through your spine. This is just like the karate chop we did in the mobility workout. So we're here. If your forehead doesn't touch the floor, you can bring your block here so your forehead is in contact with something. We're going to slide the right arm forward. So glide it along the mat from your pinky, reach it forward and then reach it towards the ceiling and then put it back down. If you guys want to watch this first before we do it, just so you get an idea of what we're doing. We're going to glide, it's a really small movement. Glide the left pinky forward, reach it up, back down, go to the other side. Glide forward, reach up, back down, glide forward, reach up, and back down. Good. So keep practicing there. Just a quick note on how this feels. So when we're here, we're gliding up and then reaching back, right? So this glide that we're getting in the first place is allowing our shoulder blades to connect in, right? So if you're here in child's pose, right, you're gliding up first, right? So you've got a nice glide and then you lift it back, right? So glide up and lift it back. Good. So in child's pose, we're doing this position here, glide, lift up. So we're trying to keep it out of the mid back, out of the neck. So this glide forward is going to help you keep it out of your neck. Good. Play around with it. See what you feel underneath your shoulder blades. Good. One more each side. And up. Awesome. Good. Now take a child's pose. Bring your hands back towards your feet. Just take a couple breaths here. Breathe into your back. Big deep breaths. Good. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Come all the way up to sit. We're going to come up to stand and come to the wall. So if you have your foam roller, bring it with you. If you don't worry. We're going to face the wall, bringing the hands to the wall like karate chop arms, right? So you're going to bring your arms here. You're coming back to kind of like a mini side plank. So you're in a little bit of an incline here. And then you're going to slide your arm up the wall, right? So you're going to glide all the way up with one arm, reaching through the pinky, and then bring it all the way back down. And then do the other side. So gliding all the way up and then back down. So what we're looking for is keeping that elbow in line with your pinky as you go up. What you should start to feel is as you lift, you feel your mid-back muscles back here starting to fire up and you're dragging back down, right? So what we're looking to not do is going out to the side and lifting up with the elbow going out, right? You want that elbow to glide straight forward, reaching up, back down, reach from your mid-back. Now, if you have a foam roller, what you can do with that foam roller is put it on the wall here, put your hand on it and roll all the way up and then back down. So your hand starts about shoulder level, reaching all the way up to just about your elbow and then back down. And you're pressing your hand into that foam roller and reaching up. So also at the top, we don't want to roll that trap up towards your neck. You want to keep it nice and low. So only go within your range of motion that you feel like you can lift without rolling into that shoulder, right? So straight up and straight back down. And then if you can do the left side too, right? So you're going straight up. So you can start with that hand and then all the way back down. So you might get a little bit of shaking here, right? As you start to go up overhead, especially in this quadrant right here, as the arm goes up overhead and then drop back down. Keep the ribs engaged, core engaged as you're pressing all the way up. Good. All right. So about 10 to 15 there. If you want to keep going a little bit, you can pause the video and practice that a little bit. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to get into the actual position. So take your time with it, right? All right. Next up, we're going to take a banded one arm pull. So if you can take your band and put it on an anchor point for me, we're going to hold on to one end of the band. So if you have a resistance band like this, you can use this. You can also use your big looped band as well, right? And they give you some options too if the looped band doesn't work for you. You're going to hold the band in your right hand. Left leg comes forward in a split stance. Engage your core, bend your knees. You're going to inhale here. Shoulder blade is forward. Exhale, draw the elbow back as you pull the band back. Deep core is engaged. Inhale, bring it forward, and exhale, draw it back. Good. Now, what we're looking for here is that the elbow is staying really close to the waist as you're pulling back. So you're getting openness in the shoulder, right? Oftentimes, a mistake I see is that we'll go here and we'll round forward and the shoulder will come forward and we'll get this pinching in the front of the shoulder, right? And I'm using my trap here. Open that shoulder and pull it back as you're pulling back. So you're using your mid back here and then back forward. Good. There is a little rotation in your upper back as you're pulling back. Keep that core engaged. So you're just rotating through your upper back. Good. Now I'm going to show you from a different angle. So if I'm holding here, I want that elbow to come right by my waist, right? I'm not lifting out like this and out to the side. It's very close to the waist. There's a little rotation to the side, right? With the deep core staying engaged, right? Good. Awesome. And then we'll do the other side. If you don't have a band with you, you can also use a weight, right? So that would look like this. Same position for the legs, hip hinge here. We're going to drop that weight towards the floor. Exhale, bring the weight by your shoulder, by your waist, and then drop it right back down. It's essentially a one arm pull back, right? All the way up and then back down, going slowly through the motion so you can make sure that the arm is gliding right by the waist, right? This is a common thing that I see is that we go up and around we use the trap to pull back, right? You can see my trap is engaging right here. You want to glide it down, use your mid back to pull it back, and then drop it back down. Good. All right, we'll do the other side. So if you don't have that band, you can do the weight on the other side. If you do have the band, we're going to take the right leg forward, left leg back in a split lunge. Left arm comes forward. You're going to let that shoulder come off of your back. Engage your deep core. Find that APT breath. And then exhale, pull back. Shoulder blade back, right? Keep that shoulder open as you're exhaling and pulling back. Exhale, pull back. Where you should feel this is down here in the bottom of your waist of that pulling arm, right? Good. So as you're pulling back, you're gliding that elbow by the waist, and it's right back here that you feel all the engagement, right? Coming forward and then pulling all the way back. So go as slowly as you need to really get into the range and the proper movement pattern here, right? So again, what we don't want to see is when you're pulling back, lifting up, getting into that shoulder and pulling back this way, right? This is all shoulder, all upper trap, neck challenges coming along, right? So elbows back, squeeze the lower shoulder, but keep those core muscles engaged, gliding in and out. Good. So do about 4 or 5 more of those, right? Going as slowly as you need to. And again, that transition to your returning spot has a lot of benefit in it. So take your time moving forward and then pulling it back. Great. Good. Last one here. Come forward and all the way back. Awesome. Good. All right. Drop your band or your weight if you've been using those. And then we will come to a cactus at the wall. So both arms up. You can come down the wall as much as is comfortable, right? So you don't have to make this a leg exercise. You can just come to the wall with your elbows out. Now take a moment, bring the back of your head to the wall and just notice if this is really hard, right? If it's really hard to keep your head against the wall, you can lift your head up a little bit, but tuck your chin towards your chest. And then notice if your wrists are pressing against the wall. If they're not, notice which one is further away. Maybe your wrists are here, right? That is an indication that we're lacking some external rotation here, right? Eventually we want the wrists to be flat against the wall. Good. Now take an APT breath, engage your deep core, right? You might already feel your back engaging here. Press your arms into the wall. Inhale, bring those elbows down. Exhale, reach them all the way up through the pinkies. Try to keep those shoulders relaxed, right? Inhale, come back down. And exhale, pressing all the way back up. Good. Now, what we want to avoid here is initiating that movement from the shoulders and lifting up here. We're going to try to keep those shoulders, the traps released as those arms are going up. So this is exactly what we did in the mobility work with the band on the traps, right? Kind of getting them out of the picture. Good. Nice. Go up only as far as you can. Keep your traps out of it. Good. Nice. Last one here. All the way up. Awesome. And all the way back down. Good. Relax. Shake your arms out. Give your whole body a shake. Let it go. Whew. Take your arms out to the sides. We're going to cross the right elbow over left. Bring the backs of the palms together or hands together. Take a couple deep breaths here. Wiggle from side to side. Drop the arms, the other side on top. Good. Wiggle side to side and release. Excellent job. Great work.